and you know, you found X, there it is, it's right there. This really should say to solve for X, because it really wants you to find the actual value here. Okay,
Mhm.
you're basically just finding the missing side of the triangle. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. It's like, yeah, I found it. It's right there. You know, done, done. But that's not what they want you to do here. They actually want you to square all three sides of the triangle here using Pythagorean theorem. Now,
Mhm.
now, as a reminder here, when you square roots, like we're going to do on the right and in the middle, when you square a square root, it goes away. So the right side just becomes 19. In the middle here, it's two things. It's 2 squared, and then it's the square root of 3 squared. So you're squaring 2, which is 4. Square root of 3 squared, the square root is undone by the square. So that's 4 times 3, which is 12. So we've got x squared plus 12 equals 19. What should we do next to solve from here?
Subtract 12 from 19.
That's right. So x squared equals 7, and then take a square root. All right, so the square root of 7 is the square root of 7. There's no known value. It's not like the square root of 9 or the square root of 4 where you have a number that works out nicely. It is an unknown there. Any questions on that?
No. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, so in my geometry class, we have been doing like things where it's kind of like on the hypotenuse side, we do like x radical 2.
Yes.
That like
That does not apply to this problem, but it is part of right triangles.
oh, okay, thank
So
you.
it's a special right triangle is what you referred to.
Yeah.
And what makes it special is that you can find all three sides from one side, whether it be a leg, the other leg, or the hypotenuse. Whereas in this problem, you need all three sides.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, or you need 2 of the 3 sides to find the third.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
and that's upcoming. Or I mean, you know, maybe it's in 9.2.
It is.
Okay, so we'll get there. That's one of the problems with like when you're kind of going between assignments is you now know stuff and you're like, wait, does that apply to this? Because it's like when the curtains pull back and you know the Wizard of Oz reveals himself, kind of thing. All right, it's number 16 here. You want to draw a picture here for this, even if it's just you know, doesn't have to be to scale or anything like that. So 90 meters wide, 120 meters long, and the diagonal, I'm just arbitrarily choosing that. Okay. So it just so happens that the other side here is also 90, and this is a right triangle. Okay. Now have we been, okay, so we're going to use a squared, b squared, c squared. I'd like you to find the value of c for us today. I'd like you to square 120, square the 90, add them together and take a square root. This one
Okay.
does work out nicely, or it should.
So 90 squared equals c squared. Oh wait, let me get my calculator really quick. Oopsie, I threw my pencil.
You can do that after the lesson. You gotta hold on to it for the remainder of the lesson.
Okay, so for C, I got 150.
Yes, and it works out nicely. Okay. All right, now that's the first part of the question. It says how far is the diagonal from one corner to the other? That's 150, and then we want to say meters there. Okay.
Mhm.
The coach wants players to run the perimeter of the field, then sprint the diagonal. So sometimes it's good to draw that, like, what does that path look like? So let's just assume they're starting here. They're going this direction down the 120, up the 90, back the 120, down the 90, and then all the way there.
Mhm.
So it's like saying the perimeter going all the way around plus the diagonal, but the perimeter is 190 plus the 90. So you're going, that's the to the right and then up, plus 120 back, plus 90 back down, plus the diagonal 150.
Okay.
So go ahead and add those up and let me know what you come up with.
Okay, I got 570.
Good. Okay, so we're gonna skip to 23 and then come back to the other ones, because 23 is more like what we've been doing. It's another right triangle problem. Have you been skiing before?
No.
Have you ever been on a ski lift?
No.
No, okay, okay. All right. Well, there's some funny videos on, Instagram, TikTok, if you like that sort of thing. But the ski lift picks you up at the bottom, takes you to the top and drops you off. And they're just saying, hey, it's a triangle. So most of these problems, you don't really care what the scenario is. You just care that, okay, they're giving me a triangle and they're giving me 2 of the 3 sides. Okay, so this one is asking for X. It's asking for one of the legs. You're still using Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Do you see there where it says round your answer to the nearest whole foot?
Uh-huh.
That means that it doesn't work out nice. Meaning like you're gonna have to use your calculator. It's not a nice number, okay?
Mhm.
So this one is x squared plus 1170 squared equals 5750 squared. I'd like you to solve this for X. You're gonna want to use your calculator. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna also do this and we'll just check answers here together when you're done.
Okay. Okay. I got my answer.
Okay, what did you come up with for X?
I got 5,629.7
Okay,
total.
so what does that round to if you're going to the nearest whole foot? Basically the ones place.
Oh, okay. So it just means like 5,630
Yes, feet.
feet.
Very good. Any questions on before we move to 17 through 22?
Uh,
Okay, so let's look at a basic 3, 4, 5 triangle. And we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Okay, so
mhm,
if the 2 smaller numbers squared added together equals the larger number squared, we know that this is a right triangle. Okay.
mhm.
Now what do you think happens here? Let's say it's still 3 and it's still 4 up, but it's kind of pushed out that way. What happens to the longest side here? Does it get larger or smaller from this picture?
Larger.
gets larger, okay? So this one, do you agree that this triangle is obtuse?
Yes.
The one I've drawn here? Yes. So notice that the 3 squared plus the 4 squared, they stay the same because they're not changing, but this number gets larger than 5. So this becomes less than the third side squared. Because this is still going to be 3 squared plus 4 squared, but the number, we don't know what c goes to, but it's bigger than 5. It's going to be bigger than 25. So in terms of like how you actually come up with these formulas, if it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that's a right triangle. We've been doing that all day long here. But now if it's a squared plus b squared less than c squared, it's obtuse. And then if it's a squared plus b squared greater than c squared, it's acute. So you have to know these 3 relationships to be able to answer these questions.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture of that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, now for 17, and the way you do all of these problems is you locate the 2 smaller sides. Okay, so they're not always in order. I don't know why they wouldn't put them in order, but they don't put them in order. So you might want to write them in order. Okay, you take the 2 smaller ones, you get that number, and then you get the larger one, and then you decide, okay, you just look, are they equal, less than, or greater than? Because that tells you which of the 3 options it is.
Do you have to square them?
Yes.
Or like, oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes. You must.
It's the same. Like
Yes.
answer.
They're
Okay.
equal. They're equal. So what does that mean? Is it right, obtuse, or acute?
Right.
Yes. Okay, so the process is repeated here, so we'll just keep going. So again, these are already in order, A, B, and C. 6 squared plus 6 squared, how does that compare to 10 squared? You know, is it equal, less than, or greater than?
It's less or less than, yeah.
It's less than. So what does that mean? That's where you got to go back and know this, because it may not be intuitive. Like it may not be like, oh, well, it's, you know, in this case, it's obtuse, but it may not fit your eye, you know, to see it that way.
Yeah.
See, that's why you go back to the definition there. Okay, 19 here. This time they give you a square root. If you're not sure if this is the smallest one, you can certainly use a calculator to do that, but it's the square. It's always got to be the 2 smaller ones. How does this compare to 12 squared?
Okay, wait. Oh my god, I keep messing up putting in the 13.
So this one's just 13 because the square root is undone by the square.
Oh, okay.
So you can, I mean, you can put it in your calculator where it's the square, you know, square root of 13 squared, but you can also recognize, okay, they undo each other. You know, like, do you put -5 in your calculator? You just write, oh, it's 5. That's the kind of thing. Like for a while you do this, then you realize, okay, I don't have to do that each time. Right. But again, we're looking for which of the 3 is it here?
C is greater.
So that this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So this one is also obtuse. Okay. For 20, or next one 20 here, this one is not in order. So if you don't get them in order, if you assign the wrong letter to it, you will get an answer that may not be correct. So just keep that in mind. 20 squared plus 21 squared. How does this compare to 28 squared?
Um, 28 squared is less than. Oh wait, yeah.
So that one there's this one is acute. You can also do the following. You can also sort of draw it like a 20 and a 21, maybe those it, and then you can see, well, this one's kind of got it can't be, maybe that's a bad example. Sometimes you can sort of draw them in a way where you feel like it matches what you think it should be. I'm not going to say I'm the best at that. All right, so here's another one. Are they in order? Is the square root of 8 less than 4?
No, it's the greatest. Right?
Square root of 8. Go ahead and type that in your calculator and see what you come up with. Your intuition will fail you on these numerical ones.
Okay, I got like 2.8.
Right, so that's the smallest one. So it's square root of 8 squared plus 4 squared. How does that compare to 6 squared?
$36 is greater than like 24.
So which of the three symbols is it equal to, less than, or greater than?
It's
And remember,
less than.
it's red left to right. Okay, so this one is obtuse.
I'm so bad at like reading the things.
Yeah, you have to commit to reading it from left to right. There's no other way to do it. I mean, if you try to read something backwards, it's very awkward in books, and math, it's also very weird. So this one is also out of order, like some of the others, 5, 10, and 15. That's A, B, and C. Go ahead and see what you come up with for this one.
It's greater than.
Okay. How do you know?
Because 15 squared is 225.
Okay.
And then plus 25.
I should have asked it differently. Which of these three symbols are you saying?
Oh.
A, B, or C?
It's C.
It is C. No, sorry.
Wait, no, it's not C.
It's 25 plus
Oh
100.
my God, I wrote it in the wrong order. Never mind.
Yeah, and that's how the teacher gets you on this is
I was like, in my head, I was like, don't write it in the wrong order. I did.
All right, so I think that takes care of everything in 9.1. So do you have to like upload these, or do you go back to take them into the classroom and submit them? How is that kind of working out for you?
I have to upload those.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I've already asked, are you in an online school, or is it in person? You just submit stuff online?
It's in person. I just submit stuff online.
Okay.
But sometimes she has paper assignments where it could only be paper.
Got it. Okay, so I do see that you sent over some problems for us to work on here. 9.2. These are the special triangles. Did you want me to check any of these that you've already done, or do you feel like?
Oh yeah, could we check the ones that I've already done? Because I'm
Yes.
only like a little iffy on it.
Yeah, understood. Okay. All right. All right, let me just get this to where I can snip. Okay. All right, so this is all correct. 12, 12, and 12 root 2. That looks good. Now, one of the things that would be wise to do on a problem on a worksheet like this is to do all the ones that are 45, 45, 90 first,
Uh-huh.
to avoid mixing up the rules, which is easy to do. And I'm not saying you've done anything wrong. I'm just saying that it's that's maybe another way to look at this. So I'd like to do that with you tonight here. We'll look at 4 next.
Mhm.
I think we've got plenty of time to get through all these anyway. So when you're given the hypotenuse, you divide by the square root of 2. So one of the things I would have liked to seen here, oh, I see what you did there. Oh, that is good. I do like that. So you set, and this is a good way to do it, the known side equal to the reference side.
Mhm.
X is 4. 4 represents the legs.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure I completely get what you got here, but I'm not sure I completely agree with how you're presenting your work. But if the hypotenuse is 4 root 2, each leg is 4 in this problem.
Uh-huh.
Like X in this case represents the legs. And you say that down here, you say N is equal to P. It's like you've gone backwards here on the left, so that probably want to cross that out there.
Oh, okay.
So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, if you have the leg, you multiply by the square root of 2 to get the hypotenuse. If you start with the hypotenuse, you divide by the square root of 2, which is what you did here to find the value of 4.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, 6 is looking really good here. Let me snip that one in.
6 is when I started to get a little bit more confused.
Yeah, you've done it correctly. You wrote 23 square root of 2 equals X square root of 2, and you need to cancel out the square root of 2. So X is 23. What I guess hasn't been made clear is that X represents the legs.
Uh-huh.
N is X, Q is X. They're both 23 in this problem.
Oh,
And you
okay.
kind of show that down here. I'm not sure if that's totally understood, but that's correct there.
Okay. That helps me like more
So
because like
go
I
ahead.
think I brought in the other like the 360/90 thing
Yes.
into the 45 thing.
And that's kind of a test taking strategy, is to go through and do all the ones that are the same.
Uh-huh.
Something to consider here. We're actually gonna do 10 before 7 because 10 is more like the ones you've been doing. Here we go. So for number 10 here,
So the
you
legs would
said,
equal 11, right?
yeah, you already know the answer. Now, if you wanted to show your work, which might be worth doing, you need to do that.
I just did it right now.
Good. That's really good. So now 7 is the harder version of the 45, 45, 90. So let me grab that here. So this time the hypotenuse 14 is equal to X square root of 2. So in all the other problems, you've just been canceling out a square root of 2, but there's no square root of 2 here. So
Yeah.
what you've actually been doing each time is dividing by the square root of 2. So X is 14 over the square root of 2, but you need to rationalize. Do you remember hearing that in class?
Remember? Yes, I do.
So here's what that means. It means no square roots on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now if
Oh
you
wait, I remember how to do this. So you like multiply it, right?
top and bottom by the square root. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the numerator becomes 14 square root of 2. The bottom becomes the square root of 4. The square root of 4 reduces.
Okay.
So that becomes 14 square root of 2 over 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7.
So it'd be 7 radical 2.
Yes. And
Okay.
that's your Z value and your W value.
Oh, okay, awesome.
All right, so what I'm going to do here is look for more of these 45, 45, 90. So I'm going to go to the other page.
Okay.
We'll do 13 next. Just check here. And do we need to do the bonus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's okay, so this is very much like the one you just did. You set the known side, the hypotenuse, equal to X square root of 2.
It'd be 15 radical 2, right?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Well, it's good when you can get the answer faster than I can write it down. That's a very good sign here. All right, 17 we'll do next. So if you're wondering how I'm picking these out, there's only a couple of ways to represent a 45, 45, 90. Either the angles are shown as the same or the sides are shown as the same. That's how I'm picking them out here.
Mhm.
Since this is a 45, 45, 90, the two legs are the same. What does that mean for the value of B?
That means that B is 6 radical 2.
Good. And to go from the leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by the square root of 2.
Oh, okay.
So 6 square root of 2 times the square root of 2.
It'd be
6.
6 radical 4.
And
Oh, okay.
this does reduce though.
Oh, it does.
Yes, and that's where you gotta be careful because like you feel like, all right, I got it, and then you get, a couple points marked off. Square root of 4 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12.
Okay, wait, you lost me on that last step.
All right, let me
So
back up here.
where do you get the 2 from?
The square root of 4.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, so 12 is C.
Yeah. All right, we will do the bonus. Let's do the non-bonus problems first. Okay, so I'm just gonna scan through here. 3 is correct. 2 is correct. Okay, 5 is correct. All right, so let's go to 8. All right, so you're doing a really good job on this worksheet of setting the known side equal to the reference side. So somewhere in class, you were given a reference triangle picture, and I'll draw it for this first one, but x, 2x, and x root 3.
Yeah.
And x is always across from the 30. 2x is always the hypotenuse. X root 3 is the long leg. Let me even write that in case you want to see that here. Short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. So what you do is you set the known side 6 in your problem equal to the reference side 2x, the matching side, 6 and then 2x. That means x equals 3.
Uh-huh.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now where to go from here? Well, x represents the short leg. K is the short leg in this problem. K is 3. K is x.
Oh, okay.
To go from the short leg to the long leg, you multiply by the square root of 3. You take 3 and multiply it by the square root of 3.
Okay.
So the progression, like the way you solve 30, 60, 90s depends on what you're given. If you're given the short leg, you go and find the hypotenuse or the long leg right away. If you're given the hypotenuse like you were in this problem, you find the short leg first, then the long leg. If we're given a problem where we find the long leg, we then find the short leg first, then the hypotenuse. There's a certain like mapping, like, you can think of it as like airline travel. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you can't go directly to where your destination, you got to go through an intermediate stop. Okay, let's look at number 9 here. So the key for you is to identify, well, what am I being given? Am I given the short leg, long leg, or the hypotenuse?
The Y is the hypotenuse.
That's correct.
And the 4 is the short leg.
4 is the short leg. So that's the X side.
Okay.
Now I'm drawing this reference triangle each time. You may or may not have that, that's something to memorize. But you find the long leg, you find the hypotenuse first. So Y is 2 times 4, which is 8. To find the long leg, you take your short leg 4 and you multiply it by the square root of 3.
So X. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We've got more to do, but that's a good start here. Okay, 2011.
Oh, wait, really quick. So
Yes.
you put for X, you put 4 radical 3 instead of 8 radical 3. Oh my
Right.
gosh, wait, no,
Right.
I
Right.
get why you did that.
So you got to be careful. Like, and I think you just somehow we understood each other is like you can think of it in terms of X's, but your problem might not be in terms of X and Y. It might
Mhm.
be, it's that's why you've heard me using words like short leg. If you're given the short leg, you multiply by 2 to get the hypotenuse.
Yeah,
To be careful about using the wrong.
I always like mix myself up.
Yes, you and most students taking this class. It's these are tough. You gotta be very confident. You got to know the formulas. It's very tough, but you've been doing great. So what is the 24 here? And the correct answers are is either the short leg, long leg, or the hypotenuse.
Long leg, and
Long
then
leg.
the R is the hypotenuse.
Yes, and you know that because it's across from the 60. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
the reference triangle here is that this is the x root 3 side, x and the 2x. So this literally means that once you find x, x is w, and
Uh-huh.
2x is r. And that's why you set the known side equal to the reference side.
Okay.
Because when you solve for x, you now have the short leg, w, and the hypotenuse by doubling.
Okay.
So to solve for x here, you have to divide both sides by the square root of 3. What should you do from this point? You can't leave it like this. What's the,
Gotta do the rationalizing.
yes,
I forgot what that's called.
rationalizing, yeah. So in the numerator, it's 24 square root of 3. What about the denominator? What does it become?
Oh wait, that'd be like it'd be 8 radical 3.
Yes,
Oh, like as a total.
yes. So your x is 8 square root 3, and I mentioned, once you find x, x is really w. So w is 8 square root of 3. R is really 2x. So what does R become?
R becomes 2x. So 2 times 8 radical 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're multiplying the outside number, not the inside number.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Okay, so that'd be 16 radical 3.
Yes. Very
Okay.
good. Okay, so we're going to keep going here with number 12. Okay. What are they giving you in this problem? Short leg, long leg, or hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. They're giving you the 2x side. The short leg is x and x root 3. Can you solve for the value of x first, please?
Mhm. Oh wait, so we would put 40 equal to
Yes.
2x.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. H equals 20 and then B equals 20 radical 3, right?
You got it. Very good. All right, so let's switch over to the other page. Look at 14. Okay, let me just snip that in. All right, which value are they giving you in this triangle? Is it the short leg, the long leg, or the hypotenuse?
Short leg.
Okay, so that is considered x. The hypotenuse is 2x, and then the long leg is x root 3. So what makes this problem on the left challenging is like the mixture of like what do you mean by x? So that's why sometimes it's better to think of it as the short leg, long leg, and the hypotenuse here.
Uh-huh.
So 13 is the short leg. To get the hypotenuse, you double the short leg. So the value of the short leg is 13. When you double it, what does that become?
26.
Okay. And then how do you go from the short leg to the long leg? You multiply by the square root of 3.
Mhm.
So what does that become?
Oh, so would X be 13 radical 3?
Yes.
Ah.
So if you really like, if you're not sure how to deal with these, you can always change the letters. Like you can always go to U, and U, or another letter if you prefer. But
Oh, yeah.
always make sure that you're giving the answer in terms of what they want, not in terms of what you want, because your teacher's grading it, not you. So, okay, 15.
Mhm.
All right, get this snipped in. All right. Are they giving you the short leg, long leg, or the hypotenuse?
Long leg.
Yes, they're giving you the x root 3 side. So you always set the known side equal to the reference side. 14 square root of 3 equals x root 3. This time the root 3's cancel and x is 14.
Mhm.
Now, again, keep in mind that x means the reference x. It's referring to the short leg.
Uh-huh.
The short leg is y, not x. So this value of 14 is the short leg y, not the 14 hypotenuse.
And then the hypotenuse would be 28, right?
Yeah, yes. All right, so that takes care of that. 16, yeah, looks like we'll have some time here to go through the bonus. Okay. Maybe you're already solving this one. There's only so many variations they can give you. Like there's not a new version that you're going to see of this. They're either going to give you the short leg, the long leg, or the hypotenuse, and you go from there.
Mhm.
So on this one, they're giving you the short leg. Can you give me the values of B and C, please?
Okay, C is 36, and I'm working on B now.
Okay.
Oh, and then B is 18 radical 3.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that we don't have to like simplify the radical or anything. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, what do I have to do next?
Now there are problems they can give you where you have to do a bit more than we're doing here, but these are kind of the starter to intermediate problems. So you should feel good about, really understanding this tonight. This is what I want to see from students learning this for the first time.
When I like went into class, I was like so confused. And then like my friend helped me out with it. And so now I'm like pretty confident.
Good. Yeah, that's great. Study groups are awesome. Sharing ideas. It's always good. Just like in the previous problems, the same questioning. Are they giving you the short leg, long leg, or the hypotenuse? And don't assume it's drawn to scale. You have to go off the angle.
Long leg.
Long leg. So they're giving you the x root 3. This time you have to you have to divide both sides by the square root of 3, which leads to rationalizing again. So I'll let you do that.
Oh, wait, sorry. 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. My dog was going through something.
No problem. All right, so go ahead and solve this for x. You will need to rationalize. Let me know what you come up with for that.
So X is 5 radical 3, right?
Good. Now that means it's the short leg. It's the short leg. Which is the short leg in your picture?
Oh, that's A.
Yep.
And then C is 10 radical 3,
You
right?
got it. You got it. Good. Okay, we're up to the bonus here, number 19. Does that, just double check that we've done all the ones before the bonus, please?
Yeah, we have.
Okay, fantastic. So no different here. The idea here is that they're slightly more difficult than the ones you were doing. Are you given the short leg, long leg, or hypotenuse? By now you probably know that is the
Hypotenuse.
hypotenuse, yeah. So you still set 2x equal to 12 root 3. This time you divide by 2.
X would be 6 radical 3, right?
Yes, and that's the short leg. That's A. B is slightly more involved. You have to take the short leg and multiply it by the square root of 3. So it's 6 square root of 3 times the square root of 3.
And that'd be 6 radical 9. But then
Okay.
that'd be simplified more, right?
Yes, keep going.
To 6 radical 3.
The square root of 9 is 3. So you're taking 6 and multiplying it by 3.
Okay, wait, you're taking 6 and multiplying it by 3?
Yeah, because the square root of 9 is 3. In this case,
Okay.
if you can reduce it, you can. Sometimes you can't, but this one you can.
So B would be 18.
Yes. All right, so just continue our theme of doing them kind of in the same order. Let's do 21, and then we'll come back to 20. All right, so the given side here is the short leg,
Mhm.
and that's nice. I mean, it's not a great number, but at least you don't have to do anything. X is 3 square root 2. So to find R, to find the hypotenuse, you will be doubling this.
So it's 6 radical 2 for R.
Yes.
And then K.
You're multiplying by the square root of 3.
So it'd be 6, 3 radical 6. And
Yes.
then
That's it.
oh,
This
okay,
cannot
that's
be
it.
reduced. Because when you look at the square root of 6, it's 2 times 3. There's no pairs,
Uh-huh.
no matching socks to pair each one up with. So you just wait till the next time around.
Okay, cool.
All right, so 20 back to 45, 45, 90. Sometimes like it's good to take a moment to sort of like zone out and refresh, because the way the brain works is if you've been doing too many things in a row, you try to apply those to the new problem here. And
Uh-huh.
we haven't done a 45, 45, 90 in about 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's easy to do the wrong thing here. You do want to draw the reference triangle. X, X, X root 2.
Uh-huh.
So this time they are giving you the hypotenuse. So you will divide both sides by the square root of 2. What should we do from here? Can we leave it like this?
No.
You have to rationalize the denominator.
Yeah. I don't know how it would like go though.
You always use the whatever the root is in the bottom. You just multiply the top and bottom by that root.
By 2.
Square root of 2. So it's 7 square root of 2 over square root of 4. What does that become?
Oh,
What's the square root of 4?
2.
2. Now, this is the first one where we've seen it where this hasn't reduced, like 7 over 2.
Oh, okay.
So you just leave it. Like I mean, sometimes it doesn't work. You can't do anything. So X is the same as Y because it's a 45, 45, 90 equals 7 over 2 square root of 2.
Okay, so X and Y are both 7 over 2 radical 2.
Yes,
Oh.
because in a 45, 45, 90, the angles are the same. It's an isosceles triangle, which means the sides are the same.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Well, you did great in terms of picking out, just the right assignment to get through the lesson tonight. So good job on that one. I know we got another lesson coming up this Saturday. Are you still behind in some of your assignments?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, is it okay if we stop here 2 minutes early?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.